Welcome to Stoic Mindset. There comes a day when every person faces a truth they've been running from, the truth that no one truly cares, not in the way you hoped, not in the way you imagined. It's a heavy realization. It cuts deep. It leaves you standing alone, stripped of every illusion. But it's also the day everything changes. Because when you accept that no one cares, you stop waiting for permission to live. You stop seeking validation to act. You stop needing attention to feel worthy. You stop chasing the comfort that never comes. And for the first time, you begin to walk with strength, quiet, grounded, and free. The day you finally accept that no one cares, you begin to see life clearly. The fog lifts, the noise fades. For the first time, you see the world not as you wish it to be, but as it is. It's a painful realization, one that shakes the heart, one that burns the ego, one that forces you to stand naked before truth itself. But within that pain lies a quiet liberation, because when you stop expecting others to care, you reclaim all the energy you once wasted on disappointment. You become unstoppable, not because the world changes, but because your perception of it does. For so long, you've lived believing that someone would come along and understand you, that someone would see your struggle, that someone would care enough to lift you up. But life teaches otherwise. People have their own storms. They are too busy surviving their own chaos to step into yours. It's not cruelty, it's reality. Everyone is the main character of their own story, and you are only a side note in most of theirs. When you accept this without resentment, you begin to walk differently. You begin to move with self-reliance. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The same principle applies here. Waste no more time expecting others to care. Care for yourself. The universe owes you nothing. People owe you nothing. Life owes you nothing. Yet, within that, nothing lies everything. Because the moment you stop expecting, you begin creating. The absence of care from others becomes the birthplace of care within yourself. You rise earlier. You begin to move with quiet discipline. You stop posting your pain and start processing it. You stop telling your story to people who only listen out of curiosity, not compassion. You stop seeking comfort in temporary places. The emptiness that once felt unbearable becomes your teacher. In silence, you discover that you are enough. That realization doesn't arrive overnight. It comes slowly through heartbreak, through neglect, through those long nights when no one replies, when no one notices, when no one shows up. At first, it feels cruel, but one day, you look around and realize that the loneliness that once scared you has become your peace. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." How much of your time has been wasted seeking care from others, waiting for someone to ask how you are, hoping that someone will finally understand what you're going through? The truth is, you were never meant to be understood by the masses. The Stoics knew that strength is born in solitude, not sympathy. Greatness rarely grows in the company of comfort. It grows when you stop needing validation to keep moving forward. When you accept that no one cares, you stop living you stop adjusting your emotions based on who responds, who notices, who praises, or who ignores. You start acting from principle, not approval. You start living from intention, not reaction. You begin to see that most people's care is conditional, rooted in what they can get, not in who you are. And so, you stop taking it personally. You let them drift. You let them misunderstand. You let them go. Epictetus taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When people don't care, you can either resent them or release them. The first leads to bitterness. The second leads to freedom. You begin to understand that every expectation is a chain, and every disappointment is the sound of that chain breaking. Freedom isn't about getting everything you want. It's about letting go of everything that's holding you back, including the need for others to care. At some point, you realize that self-pity has no value. It only deepens your wounds. So you stop feeling sorry for yourself. You stop explaining yourself. You start doing the work quietly, consistently, relentlessly. You stop chasing people and start chasing purpose. The world respects consistency more than complaint. It respects silence more than noise. It respects results more than requests. When you embody that, life opens up in ways you couldn't imagine. There's a shift that happens when you stop needing care. You begin to attract respect. The energy of dependence turns into the energy of power. People can sense it. They see you no longer beg for attention. They see you no longer fold when ignored. You move with a calm that confuses them. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer crave connection, you create clarity. You no longer fear solitude, you thrive in it. It's strange, the less you need people, the more valuable your presence becomes, because most of the world operates on emotional exchange. I'll care for you if you care for me. When you remove yourself from that cycle, you become rare. You are no longer playing the game, you are walking your path. That detachment gives you power not over others, but over yourself. Imagine how peaceful life becomes when you stop expecting others to care. You no longer overthink who didn't text back. You no longer feel invisible when ignored. You no longer base your mood on someone else's response. You're free. You become emotionally self-sufficient. You learn to find meaning in the ordinary, a quiet morning, a long walk, a good book, a moment of breath. These become sacred. You don't need an audience to feel alive. This is what the Stoics meant by it's not about suppressing emotions. It's about understanding them. It's about knowing that disappointment is born from expectation, and peace is born from acceptance. When you accept that no one cares, you don't become cold, you become clear. You see life for what it is, impermanent, unpredictable, indifferent. And yet, within that indifference, you find your strength. The world won't slow down for your wounds. It won't pause because you're tired. It won't adjust itself to make you comfortable. So why should you wait for care to move forward? Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others when you do not refer your thoughts to some object of common utility." In simpler words, stop wasting energy on whether others care about you. Redirect that energy into something useful, something noble, something lasting. Every moment spent waiting for care is a moment stolen from your growth. Every complaint you speak is a distraction from your potential. So you learn to stay silent. You learn to let the noise fade. You learn to find peace in your own discipline. You stop showing people what you're doing, and you simply do it. You stop talking about your pain, and you start transforming it. There will be people who notice your silence. They'll wonder why you've changed. They'll miss the version of you that needed them. They'll test you again through indifference, through distance, through distraction. But when you've truly accepted that no one cares, those tests no longer move you. Their opinions don't stir you. Their absence doesn't wound you. You've outgrown the need for external comfort. You have built internal fortitude. The power of that transformation is subtle but profound. You walk into rooms differently. You no longer seek attention. You no longer perform for approval. You exist in stillness. You carry a kind of gravity, not loud, not showy, but undeniable. The same people who once ignored you begin to notice, but you don't care anymore, because the approval you wanted from them, you already found within yourself. True confidence is not loud. It's quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It simply is. You've become that, not through arrogance, but through acceptance. You know that care is fleeting, but character is forever. You know that people change, but principles endure. You know that love, attention, and recognition are all unstable currencies, but integrity, discipline, and peace are unshakable. There's a peace that follows once you stop being emotionally dependent on others. You become hard to offend, hard to manipulate, hard to break, because when you expect nothing, you can lose nothing. You're no longer at the mercy of how others treat you. You've stepped beyond it. You've learned what Epictetus called the dichotomy of control, that you can't control who cares, but you can always control how you respond. This realization changes everything. The world that once seemed hostile becomes neutral. The people who once seemed disappointing become irrelevant. You no longer live through them. You live through your purpose. And when you live with purpose, life itself begins to care, not through people's approval, but through results, peace, and clarity. You become a fortress of calm in a chaotic world. You stop explaining your silence, because silence is your explanation. You stop proving your worth, because your consistency already does that for you. You stop trying to be understood, because understanding yourself is enough. That's when you realize no one caring was never a curse. It was the hidden gift that freed you from needing permission to grow. One day you'll look back and smile at all the times you felt invisible, because those moments taught you to see yourself. You'll smile at all the times you felt uncared for, because those moments taught you how to care for yourself. You'll smile at all the times you felt unloved, because those moments taught you how to love without attachment. The Stoics didn't seek admiration. They sought alignment. They didn't crave comfort. They cultivated character. When you follow that path, you no longer measure life by who cares about you. You measure it by how deeply you live in accordance with your values. That's where fulfillment hides, not in attention, but in alignment, so accept it. No one truly cares, not in the way you hope, not in the way you expect, and that's okay, because that realization isn't the end of your emotional life, it's the beginning of your spiritual one. It's the point where you transcend dependence and meet yourself. Once you stop trying to be saved, you realize you were the savior all along. From that moment, nothing external can truly shake you. Praise doesn't inflate you. Criticism doesn't crush you. Rejection doesn't break you. You become even-tempered, grounded, clear, steady. You've seen the truth of the world, and instead of resenting it, you've embraced it. That is what makes you unstoppable. The day you accept no one cares is the day you stop waiting for help and start helping yourself. It's the day you stop chasing and start creating. It's the day you stop hoping for direction and start becoming your own compass. From that day on, everything changes. You become the calm in every storm, the strength in every silence, the purpose behind every struggle. You no longer seek meaning from others, you build meaning within. That is the Stoic way. That is freedom. That is mastery. So walk forward, quietly, steadily, alone if you must. Do your work. Live your truth. Let others care or not care. It makes no difference. You've already accepted the truth that liberated every great soul before you. No one cares. And yet, you rise. Because once you accept that no one cares, you finally understand that you never needed them to. This was Stoic Mindset. Remember, peace begins when expectation ends. You owe it to yourself to rise without applause, to build without approval, to care without needing care in return. The day you stop waiting for others to care is the day you start living with true freedom. Stay grounded, stay silent, stay unshakable, and always rise above.